Hey friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. So one of the bigger items of news of note in the wrestling world over the past week or so has been regarding the contract status of NXT star Adam Cole. As many of you may or may not know, it's been reported that a little while ago his contract expired, leading him to sign a short-term extension with the WWE going through SummerSlam weekend. And it's said that at that point he would sort of consider his options, or it would give him time anyways to consider his options. And obviously one of the options in front of him is to go to AEW, where many of his friends and his current girlfriend, fiance, Britt Baker, is currently the women's champion. And so I thought it'd be kind of fun to look at the pros and cons in front of Adam Cole. Maybe will help my old friend. Look at this picture of us right here. My old friend Adam Cole. I met him once. Help him decide which place would be a better fit for him. Before we get started, do me a big favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And let's keep rolling on with this Wrestle Juice momentum. So I've written down a couple items here in terms of the pros and the cons. So there's a news item today in Fightful as I record this on a Friday. I'll probably put this up on Saturday, at which point this video might be moot. So you never know. He's got at the Smackdown taping on Friday night. So tonight when I'm taping this, he has a meeting, a big sit-down interview with Vince McMahon. I guess maybe Vince is going to pitch Adam Cole on staying with the company. And I guess Adam Cole at that point will find out exactly how far Vince McMahon is willing to go to keep the longest reigning NXT champion in history happy and around and in the WWE. So we can start off, though, if he looks at the landscape of professional wrestling, we can sort of start with two places that it's kind of obvious he won't actually sign: New Japan and Impact. Let's face it, the dude is going to be either in WWE or he's going to be in AEW. The thing about working AEW is that it sort of gives you the ability to work Impact and New Japan if you really want to. I know he had some matches in New Japan during his time in Ring of Honor. Impact, not so much, I don't think, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Anyways, here we go. I'm going to outline first off the pros of working in AEW. Number one, let's be honest, they're really hot right now. Oh, by the way, I'm going to preface this by saying, for all you people who might be new here to the channel, thanks to my Bray Wyatt video, I love both companies. I think there's some really cool stuff that WWE is doing right now. I think it's kind of exciting that they got fans back and they're doing some cool stuff. Not everything. It's like 50-50. And I really love AEW too. I think they've had some really cool ideas. They've got some good stuff going on there. So I'm a big fan of both companies. So I'm not going to be slandering anybody over here, but I'm going to try to call it like it is. So here we go. The pros of AEW. Right now they are hot. They got a lot of momentum. They've averaged over 1 million viewers in total viewership in their ratings for like 4 straight weeks. And that doesn't seem to be slowing down. They got a lot of cool stuff on the horizon. If it's true that they have in fact signed or on the verge of signing CM Punk and Brian Danielson, I have to start getting used to calling that in case he actually is in AEW, Brian Danielson, they're going to have a hell of a rest of 2021 with a possibility as well that Bray Wyatt might show up there, Wyndham Rotunda. I got to start calling him by that name, I suppose, unless he uses a different name wherever he ends up going. The rest of 2021 is going to be pretty huge for AEW. It's going to be very interesting where this company's at in terms of their ratings, in terms of their viewership, et cetera, heading into 2022. AEW has got a lot of great momentum going on right now. They're signing up a lot of great wrestlers, and it's fun to see them build their company for the future. Number 2 pro with AEW, he's free to do his Twitch stuff. So as we kind of know, if you're on main roster in WWE, apparently you're not allowed to do your Twitch stuff anymore. Now it's possible, given that he's got leverage right now, that he could walk into that meeting with Vince McMahon and say, hey, Vince, well, you do whatever you want with me, but don't take my Twitch away, because that is probably a pretty decent chunk of revenue for Adam Cole at this time. Now, I have no idea how much the dude makes on his Twitch. I can make kind of an educated guess on it, given that me and Larson over at Going in Raw are on Twitch. We have a certain number of followers, we stream a certain amount of time, and we make a certain amount of revenue. I can safely say that Adam Cole makes quite a bit of money on that Twitch channel. I have no idea what it would be in relation to what he makes on his contract in WWE, whether it be equal to, less than, or even more than. I don't know. Something tells me I kind of feel like it might be on par with what he's making through wrestling, but I honestly have no idea. So I can't really speak on that, but I can for sure say it's not a small chunk of change. I know he's making a decent amount of money off Twitch. If he goes to main roster, even though they might compensate him for whatever revenue he might be losing on Twitch, if they say, no, you can't do that anymore, he seems to clearly love doing that stuff. He might see that as something he wants to continue to grow for his post-wrestling years. It's entirely possible that he looks at wrestling and says, man, I've been doing this for a little while. I have another 5-10 years in the tank. But if I have less than that, if something happens, I have this to fall back on. If WWE makes him abandon his Twitch channel, he'll have to not necessarily start from scratch, but you know what I mean. He won't have been building it that entire time. That might be something that he's really interested in. So AEW would have zero problems whatsoever with him continuing on doing his Twitch stuff and trying to build that and build that. If he goes to WWE's main roster, the current evidence suggests he wouldn't be able to do that. Do we know that for sure? Does he have that leverage where he can say, hey, I want to keep on doing my Twitch, and Vince will say, okay, fine, I'll make the exception for you? Possibly. I don't know. Obviously, another pro of AEW is that he has tons of friends there. Obviously, when he left to go to NXT, he was in the middle of a thing in New Japan with Kenny Omega. He has Cody there. I think he's friends with him. The Young Bucks, obviously, he's really good friends with. He used to be an integral part of being the Elite. He used to be in the Elite, basically. And of course, obviously, Britt Baker is there, his significant other. I don't know if they ever got engaged. I don't really care about their personal stuff. Another pro of AEW, obviously, he would have complete creative freedom to do what he wants, and he would be treated like a king there. He's got a lot of heat coming off him from his NXT run. He would continue that. He would feel instantly like a main eventer there in AEW. It's sort of like the perfect spot for him, to be honest with you. He would be treated like an absolute king, and they may not be able to pay him the same money as WWE does, because WWE is just really, really flush with cash. But he'd probably make decent money there. They would probably pay him what he's worth there in AEW. So the money thing would probably be not much of an issue. Plus, he would probably get a bigger cut of his merchandise sales, and he'd probably sell a ton of merchandise. So I think the money thing would probably maybe be on par with WWE, but WWE could, they theoretically could outbid the crap out of AEW if they wanted to. The cons of working at AEW is just this. It's one thing. They're not WWE. And I'll sort of relate that to the pros of being WWE, in that it all sort of depends on what somebody's individual career ambitions and goals are. I always go back to that Vince McMahon line when Shawn Michaels won the WWF championship back in like 96 or whatever. He said, the boyhood dream has been realized. I don't know if it's anybody's boyhood dream to win the AEW title, because AEW is a 2-year-old company. And so if being at a WrestleMania and having a WrestleMania moment is a huge thing for Adam Cole, obviously you can't do that while you're in AEW. And that might be a big deal to the man. We don't know, because we're not best friends with him and we don't know those things. But that's kind of the thing, is that if you work in AEW, you're not in WWE where those big wrestling moments happen. You're creating a company that hopes to have those big wrestling moments, and there is a difference there. Let's move on then to the pros of working for WWE. It is a bigger stage. It is the WWE. It's the biggest wrestling company in the world. If you make it to the top of the WWE, you are on the top of the wrestling world. Also in WWE, Up, Up, Down, Down is there. He's very successful, and he seems to really love doing all that stuff with Xavier Woods and Cesaro, and I think they still do stuff with Tyler Breeze over at Up, Up, Down, Down. If he goes to AEW, clearly that's not going to be the case anymore. I'm not sure if WWE would allow Xavier Woods and Up, Up, Down, Down to have any contact on screen with Adam Cole for that stuff. So that's probably not going to be something that he's going to be able to explore. And I don't know if G4 and WWE has an actual relationship, but WWE allowed Xavier Woods to go work at G4. You would think that they would have some sort of control over that, but maybe they're not allowed to disallow Xavier Woods to work there. I don't know. They treat independent contractors like they're employees at WWE, so I have no idea what the relationship is there. But if he saw that as a gateway to hosting on G4 or doing other stuff, maybe he'd want to stick with WWE because maybe those opportunities would be more available for him. But maybe not. I mean, if he works, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really know. But you'd think maybe there's some more opportunities there because you're in WWE and WWE's a bigger name. They have relationships all over the place. Probably more money. We talked about that already. WWE has the potential to pay a lot more money than AEW would simply because it's $1 billion company. And while you don't know if they're going to break the bank for Adam Cole, they have the potential to do so. They have the money to outbid anybody else. Whether or not they would do it depends on how much value they see in Adam Cole. The big con of WWE, you could sum up in one name: Karrion Kross. The current NXT champion has been treated like absolute dog shit upon his call up to main roster. It's kind of crazy, to be honest with you. It's one of the weirder stories over the past couple of weeks and months there in WWE. It's just how dog shit they've been treating Karrion Kross in his call up. It's really weird. So the creative side of WWE, how he would be treated on main roster, is a big unknown. And WWE doesn't typically give assurances in writing for their talent when they're getting called up. And I know a lot of people say, oh, they're going to bungle another call up. They're going to bungle another call up. Look at what they did in so-and-so. They actually don't have a terrible record when you actually look at certain wrestlers who might parallel Adam Cole in some respects. So I have a list here of wrestlers who I feel parallel Adam Cole in certain ways. Karrion Kross really doesn't. He is not really the type of wrestler that I think of when I'm like, who is Adam Cole kind of like? But I do have a list of wrestlers here. One wrestler that really sort of reminds me of Adam Cole in several ways is AJ Styles. AJ Styles and Adam Cole are both terrific, sort of prototypical 4-star Meltzer match guys. You know what I mean? They can both put on those stellar matches. You know, whoever Adam Cole's in the ring with, he's going to get a good match out of him. Same thing with AJ Styles. Vince McMahon loves AJ Styles. He always has. If Vince McMahon sees what Adam Cole does in the ring, and even better than AJ Styles on the microphone, he might see Adam Cole as that pit bull he's looking for along the lines of AJ Styles. I think there are some parallels there, not just their Bullet Club affiliation. Another guy that reminds me of Adam Cole is Daniel Bryan. A stellar wrestler, stellar on the mic, can be both heel and face. Vince McMahon apparently was furious that, or allegedly according to rumors, that the WWE was not able to re-sign Bryan Danielson, and maybe he could see Adam Cole as potentially a guy who could fill in those types of shoes, a guy who has all those same attributes as Daniel Bryan. Another guy who in some ways parallel Adam Cole, and not just because they're both on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling and PWG, and that's Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens and Adam Cole are obviously really, really, really good friends. They go back a long ways. They're both stellar wrestlers. They're both really good on the mic. What more needs to be said? And they both, neither of them. So Adam Cole, the one thing about Adam Cole is that he's not the tallest guy in the world. And Kevin Owens, similarly, is not the most like big jack dude in the world. So I'm not going to say their looks are similar at all, but they're also not that big giant 6'4" super jacked wrestler that we seem to think of when we think of main roster superstars. Moving on, Sami Zayn, again, just a really good wrestler, really good on the mic, can be both heel and face, and knocks it out of the park with whatever he's given, much like Adam Cole. Another guy, a recent call-up, Matt Riddle. Killer really good on the mic, really good in the ring, a bit taller than Adam Cole, a bit more built like a main roster guy. But otherwise, I definitely see some parallels there. And if I'm Matt Riddle, I'm pretty happy with my role since I've been called up. He's been put in featured feud after featured feud. He hasn't really been a title guy yet, but you got to feel like that's probably an inevitability for Matt Riddle. And I feel like Adam Cole is a bit more versatile when it comes to the character stuff. Another guy, former NXT champion as well, the guy that Adam Cole replaced as longest reigning NXT champion, Finn Balor. There are also parallels there, and I think Adam Cole's actually better on the mic and, to be honest with you, in the ring than Finn Balor. And Vince McMahon has treated Finn Balor pretty damn well. Maybe not as a top guy, but if you have a Finn Balor career, you got to be pretty happy with that. Another guy that kind of has some parallels with Adam Cole is Ricochet. Now that's an example you look at if you're Adam Cole and you say, "Ooh, I don't want to be that. That's not good. That guy's on main event, not in the main event, but he's on main event quite a bit. I don't know if I want to be that guy. That doesn't sound good to me." Other recent call-ups that you can look at and say, "Hey, this is all good stuff." Keith Lee, who probably would have been pushed a lot more had he not had whatever mystery situation that took him out of the last 6 to 8 months or however long he's been gone. We still need to get more info on that if he's willing to share it. Bianca Belair, a recent call-up. I mean, not a lot of parallels there between her and Adam Cole, other than she's really talented. He's really talented, and look at her. She's champion right now. Another call-up to look at, Retribution. I feel like Adam Cole is treated a lot better than any of these guys in Retribution ever were. So I'm not really sure that's a great parallel either. But he should look at Karrion Kross and say, "Ooh, boy, ugh. What's the deal with this? What is, that should be question number one to Vince McMahon if he has this meeting at Smackdown as hey, Vince, what's the deal with this Karrion Kross guy? What can we just give me the lowdown? What's the scoop on that?" And maybe he'll get, some a shoot info off Vince and he can be a wrestling journalist or something. Anyways, so yeah, what should Adam Cole do? Let me know in the comments below. Maybe he'll watch this video. Maybe he'll read your comments. Maybe one of you will give the deciding reason why he should go to either WWE or AEW. And then you could say, "Hey, listen, I was the reason why Adam Cole did that." Probably not. He'll probably never see this video, but it's still fun to do. It's still fun to talk about this stuff. Who knows? Maybe by the time this video goes up, he'll have already made his decision. He'll have already signed a deal and we'll already know about it. And this video will be completely moot. But, it's a wrestling channel. It's fun to talk about this stuff. Anyways, check out one of my other videos. And thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Until next time, I'll talk to you later.